What's up, guys? It's Scott, aka Baker Turtle here, bringing you a Wi-Fi battle. This is a fantasy league battle for season 3. This was week 1 against the Corpus Christi Kyurems, coached by Emily. And as you can see, the team she brought was Conkeldurr, Mega Scizor, Milotic, Meloetta, Umbreon, and Nidoking. And the team I brought this week was Choice Scarf, Flygon, Mixed Set, Bulky, Intimidate, Hitmontop with Fake Out, Rapid Spin, Revenge, Toxic, Standard, Mega Pinsir, Swords Dance, Sweeper, Life Orb. No, I actually think it's Expert Belt, Heliolisk here. Especially defensive and physically defensive, just all around bulky Seismitoad with Stealth Rocks. And 3 attacking moves, and then defensive Gardevoir with a I forgot what the berry was, but the steel reducing berry. I think it starts with a C. But yeah, so this week when preparing for her team, I definitely saw Mega Scizor as a threat, so I basically slapped Hidden Power Fire on mostly everything. Heliolisk, Seismitoad, and Gardevoir all have Hidden Power Fire, and Flygon has Flamethrower, so I have multiple ways of dealing with that. And yeah, so let's get started with the battle. Now, just a fair warning for you guys, this is a pretty long battle. It's kind of stally-ish because of her freaking Umbreon. But yeah, so she starts off with Nidoking as I start with Flygon. I'm not worried here because I'm Choice Scarf, and even if she is Choice Scarf, I'm still faster. So I just go for the EQ here as she switches out into her Milotic. Now, I wanted to see if this was defensive or special defensive, and judging from that damage, she's definitely defensive here. So I decided to switch out, obviously, because I was fearing the Ice Beam. So I just go out into my Seismitoad here, which is a pretty good counter to this. I have Water Absorb, but she actually goes for the Dragon Tail. I'm like, okay, so let's see what it gets switched out into. So I actually get switched out into Hitmontop here, and it's a good thing she's not competitive, otherwise she would have got that special attack raise. But yeah, so I assume she's Marvel Scale here, but regardless, I'm just gonna get the Toxic off because I just want to whittle this thing down as much as possible. As she just goes for the Ice Beam, which does like hardly anything. And yeah, so I know I can pretty much deal with this Milotic. I'm not too worried about it. And so now that Hitmontop came in here and toxic it and did its job, I'm just gonna switch out here and go back out into Seismitoad, predicting a Scald, maybe trying to burn me or something. And she actually does go for the Scald, so I get that small increase in health. But yeah, so here I'm just gonna I believe I'm just gonna go for the knockoff because I want to get rid of those leftovers and just have the toxic damage just rack up. As she actually switches out here into her Umbreon, which is good because I can get rid of those leftovers as soon as possible. And in here I don't see Umbreon really doing too much to me, so I just stay in and set up my Stealth Rocks. And I believe Scizor is her only way of getting rid of Stealth Rocks, and I have a bunch of things to deal with that, so that's not going to be too good for her if she decides to stay in and defog on something. Yeah, so here I'm just going to switch out and go straight out into my Umbreon counter and Hitmontop. And I know this thing can't really do much to me except for probably Toxic, stall me or something, but I have Toxic as well. So as she starts to set up with Curse, and I'm like, I'm not too scared of this. What's he gonna have, like Payback or Assurance or whatnot? I don't know, but it shouldn't do too much to me. As she switches out, it's smart for her. As I believe I go for the Fake Out here, or the Toxic or something on the switch. Yeah, just go for the Fake Out. Just get some residual damage. And with that Marvel Scale, she's just going to take that like a boss. and we both get our leftovers recovery, and she gets her toxic poison damage off. And here I don't want to get scalded and burned because I need this for Umbreon. So I go out to Heliolisk, which has a dry skin ability, which also absorbs water. So that's cool. And she just goes for the recover here. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna try to fire off a T-Bolt. I have Expert Belt, and this is gonna do a bunch of damage. And she just stays in. And I don't know if she thought she could take this, but she just goes for the Dragon Tail, and unfortunately misses here. And I don't think that was too much of a deal, because after this turn she has like hardly any HP left anyways, so anything could have came in and just killed it. So yeah, so I go for the Surf here, predicting Nidoking to probably want to switch in for the Thunderbolt in case she did, and I knew Surf would take it out anyways, so I went for that. Yeah. And here I didn't want to Volt Switch because I predicted it to go for a Mach Punch. And I switch into my Hitmontop, get the Intimidate, and she actually goes for the Rock Slide. And here I was extremely confused because I have Flygon, which resists it. I have Hitmontop, which resists it, and I don't see Rock Slide doing anything to my team except for Pinsir, and I wouldn't switch in Pinsir on Conkeldurr. So she switches out her Conkeldurr into her Scizor, as I just go for the Fake Out. And here I just I didn't know what the Scizor wanted to do. I didn't know if it was going to try to defog the rocks away or try to set up. So I'm just going to go straight out into my counter in Seismitoad. I know I can take any one hit even if she does set up, and then hit hard back with a Hidden Power Fire. So yeah, so here she Mega Evolves, and she actually sets up here. I'm like, okay, hopefully I can live any one hit. If it has like Bullet Punch or Bug Bite, Knock Off, something. And then I can just go for the Hidden Power Fire. But she actually goes for the Superpower, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, let's see how much this does. And it actually just straight knocks me out. And I'm just like, wow, okay. Now, it's a good thing I got rid of my Milotic, because I didn't really need that thing anymore that much. It just set up my Stealth Rocks, and it can deal with the Scizor, but I guess it couldn't. So I switch on to my Heliolisk here, going for the Hidden Power Fire. And she switches out into Umbreon, and from that damage I'm like, but I see that it's a crit, so I know it's specially defensive, so I'm just gonna switch out of here as I get another crit. Back-to-back crits, definitely in favor for me, but as you see here later, it's doesn't really affect anything in the long run because she has Moonlight. But she just goes for the Toxic on the switch as I go into Flygon. I wanted to see, since she is specially defensive, I wanted to see how much a U-turn would do. And as I go for the U-turn here, and it just misses the KO. And I'm like, okay, great, here we go. Now I gotta go up against this bulky Umbreon. She just goes for the Moonlight, gets back up to 50% health. And like I said before, you know, this battle's gonna be long because of this Umbreon's just too bulky. So I'm just gonna try Volt switching out of here and go back out. Not go back out into, but I'm gonna go into my Hitmontop here, get the Intimidate. I know this thing can't do much to me except Toxic. It has Toxic, Moonlight, Curse, and I assume Payback or Assurance here. So she could just go for the Moonlight, and now she's back to full health. So as you can see, those crits didn't matter at all. As she switches out into Scizor, I expect fearing the Toxic. As I just go for the Fake Out, because, you know, with the leftovers gone, it's just free damage. But I probably should revenge on that or something. But yeah, so I switch out into Heliolisk here because I know I can take a Bullet Punch or something. I didn't think it would go for a Superpower, But she sets up here, and I just go for the hidden power fire. And I don't know why she set up. She just keeps setting up and then having to switch out, because I have everything I have here is just gonna deal with it. So she switches out into her Umbreon, and I just gotta volt switch out of there because I can't do anything with this thing. I just go out into him on top, get that Intimidate, and try to do something to this thing. Hopefully get a crit somewhere, get a Toxic off or something. Yeah, she actually goes for the Toxic here on my Hitmontop, which can be kind of bad now, because now I'm gonna start whittling down little by little. She goes for the Moonlight and basically back up to full health. And judging by this damage, I'm like, great, I got a long road ahead of me. This is a stab revenge from Hitmontop. Although I am not invested in attack, I figured, you know, stab revenge would do something, but I guess not. So I gotta switch out before the toxic damage starts racking up too much. And go out into this thing, volt switch out, just try to get some damage off. And she goes for the curse. I'm like, why are you setting up? I have Hitmontop. Like, you can't do anything to Hitmontop. So I just volt switch out of here and go straight back out into Hitmontop, get the Intimidate. And she goes for the Assurance. I'm like, okay, let's see how much this does. And that's a crit. So even though with all the Intimidate drops and stuff, with a crit, even because crits ignore the stat drops and stuff, that does nothing. So she can't do anything to me. So I really don't know why she stayed in here. But I just went for the Toxic and try to see what I can do. Maybe she just wanted to get that Moonlight off because she's at half health, and then she'll switch out. But yeah, so I was really lucky to get that Toxic damage off, because now this thing's on a timer, has no leftovers, and it can't stay in and set up. So it's very limited now. So this is going to be the beginning of the end of this Umbreon, thank God. And now I'm going to switch out, predicting her switch out into Scizor. And I'm just going to go straight out into Flygon, but she still goes for the Assurance. I don't know what did she think that was gonna do something? And that's a crit. Like, she can't do anything. So really, Curse kind of seems like a wasted move slot here. She probably could have gone for. She probably could have had Heal Bell or something instead. But I just go for the U-turn and I get a crit. A pretty important crit here, because that did over 50%. And now I can go out into my Hitmontop, fake out, and it'll get that toxic damage. And I know it's not going to get any more life than this, because it either has to switch out or it's going to die. So I get the toxic damage off on me and toxic on her. And now this is where I guess she decided to sack it off because she didn't really need it anymore. Which was a mistake. This was like the only thing really stopping me from just pulverizing her team. So here I got the fake out off, and then now she's gonna die to the toxic damage. And at this point, this is when the match starts picking up speed. I got rid of her Umbreon, and now I can just start doing some damage. So now she goes out into Meloetta, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what this thing's gonna do, so I'm just gonna try to like sack something off. And I thought I would be able to live a hit though here, but I guess not. I misjudged that, and down goes Flygon. Now here, I didn't really have anything fast that could do a lot of damage to this thing, because it's specially defensive. So I didn't want to go out into my Heliolisk, so I just got to go out into Mega Pinsir here, and I go for the return and just miss the KO. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But luckily this doesn't do too much damage, and I'm just gonna go for the return just in case she wants to switch out. and there's the crit. I wish I had the crit the previous turn, but I guess not. So here she goes on to Nidoking, and now I'm pretty certain she's Scarf, because normally I would outspeed this thing and I could run EQ, so she feels really confident switching into this thing. So I switch out into my Heliolisk. I have actually a pretty decent amount of special defensive EVs on this thing. I had expected I'd probably have to go up against a Nidoking 1v1 at some point, and so I didn't need too much speed. I just needed enough speed to outspeed Meloetta, so I put a lot of EVs into special defense. Now here I just Volt Switch out into Hitmontop, get that Intimidate, and again she goes for the Rock Slide. I don't know what she's doing. She really should be going for like a Drain Punch or something. It's not gonna be. It has a chance to miss, and if anything, Stone Edge would be better. But okay. So here, I'm switching out. Gonna expect her Scizor to want to come out, because I wanted Scizor to come in and do and try to go for a Bullet Punch or something, and as I reveal my berry and then KO with Hidden Power Fire. So I just decided to go for Calm Minds here, thinking it would want to switch out, fearing a Psyshock or something. But I guess she just decides to fodder this thing off at this point, because she just stays in, goes for the knockoff, and unfortunately, oh, there it is, the Berry, yeah. I predicted the Hidden Power Fire here because I figured it would want to switch out, but I didn't know she was sacking this thing, so she just keeps going for knockoff. I'm like, okay, if you want me to kill this thing, because this thing was stopping my Heliolisk, because it can just Mach Punch and kill me in one hit. So down goes the Conkeldurr, and here she switches Nidoking out, and at this point I'm like, without my berry, I really don't need this thing anymore, so I didn't want to switch out and get something else killed, so I just sacked my Gardevoir off here, and I see that it locks itself into Sludge Wave, and I don't know actually, I kind of expected maybe I can live this with my EV spread, and I live on 6. Whew, that was clutch. I live on 6, and I go for the Surf, and I KO that Nidoking. And thank God I had that special defensive EVs, or I would have died. But here, I'm gonna sack this thing because I only have 6 HP left. So she just goes for the Bullet Punch. Smart for her, didn't set up, because I could have gone for the HP Fire. And now here, I'm just gonna switch out into Mega Pinsir and just start quick attacking away. I quick attack expecting a Bullet Punch. I didn't know if I would live this or not, and I just live. So there you guys have it. Mega Pinsir picks up the last kill, and what a battle. That Umbreon definitely was a pain in the ass. I didn't expect Meloetta this battle, and it really threw me off. I don't know why she had some questionable plays. Like, I don't know why she kept going for Rock Slide with Conkeldurr. She kept trying to set up with Mega Scizor. She had Curse, Assurance on Umbreon, which wasn't going to do too much, so it was just inevitable. So there you guys have it. So first week's over. I'm 1-0, and Emily is 0-1, and it's a good thing because she's in my division, so now I got the upper hand on her. And yeah, so I'll be facing Rampage and the Indiana Reapers next week. And yeah, so stay tuned for that. I'll be uploading battle, so hope you guys like this battle. Give a like or a comment down below, whatever. Just tell me guys what you think. I'll see you guys later.